those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. We also acknowledge the members of the RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching this ceremony broadcast across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection by visitors to the memorial. Australia's Federation Guard is the tri-service ceremonial unit of the Australian Defence Force. They provide a ceremonial presence at civil and military events and during visits to Australia by foreign dignitaries. The Guard will now dismount the catapult party from the tomb of the unknown Australian soldier. If you're able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Catapult party, present arms.
Australians, all let us rejoice, for we are one
shoulder, arms. Catapult body, order, arms.
The Australian War Memorial was the vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we'll read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the Pool of Reflection.
Today, we remember and pay tribute to Captain William McCarthy Braithwaite. William Braithwaite was born on the 8th of November 1892 in Preston, Victoria, to William and Louisa Braithwaite. His father had served during the Boer War and had become an honorary colonel after his retirement. He also owned the local Preston Tannery, one of the largest employers in Preston. Braithwaite, the only boy in the family and with 5 sisters, received his education at the Church of England Grammar School in Melbourne and served 5 years in the Volunteer Cadets. He then entered into his father's business, initially as a tanner and then as a manager and director. Braithwaite enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 8th of July 1915 and was assigned to the 22nd Battalion with the rank of Second Lieutenant. He spent several months training at Broadmeadows Camp in Australia before embarking from Melbourne in October aboard the troop ship Nestor. Braithwaite arrived in England in November 1916 and joined his unit in France in January 1917. His first major action was at Bullecourt, where Allied forces were attempting to break through the Hindenburg Line. The first attack, on the 10th of April, relied on the use of tanks to lead infantry towards the enemy lines. However, Australians began to take heavy casualties when the tanks failed to arrive as planned and troops were sent over the top without artillery support. The Australians broke through the lines but were unable to hold their positions and were forced to retreat. By the end of the attack, casualties stood at more than 3,000 men killed and wounded. On the 3rd of May, a second attack at Bullecourt took place, during which Braithwaite was wounded in the head and arm while leading his men into enemy trenches. The attack was more successful than the first, and the township of Bullecourt was secured just 12 days later. Official war historian Charles Bean labelled the second attack the stoutest achievement of the Australian soldier in France. For his role in the fighting, Braithwaite was awarded the Military Cross and promoted to the rank of captain. Severely wounded, he was sent to England to recover. He rejoined his unit in July and was again wounded in action during a raid on enemy trenches in the Somme Valley. The end of the war was nearing by October 1918, when Braithwaite was serving near the French village of Beaurevoir in the 22nd Battalion's last action of the war. On the 3rd of October 1918, the battalion was given instructions to attack the Beaurevoir line. Braithwaite was in charge of C Company when it came under determined fire from German machine gun positions. Braithwaite charged the enemy position, killing an enemy machine gunner and receiving fatal wounds. Having survived battles at Bullecourt, Mont-Saint-Quentin, and wounding on 4 separate occasions, Braithwaite was just weeks away from war's end when he was killed in action, aged 25. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right, among almost 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War. His photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Captain William McCarthy Braithwaite, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, and in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
Shoulder, arms. Catapult party, present, arms.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We'll remember them.
lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Catapult party in words. Turn. Catapult party. Quick. March.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrubber Gallipoli, with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. We'd like to thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial and wish you all a very good evening. Thank you.